What's up, everybody? I'm Caleb Ochoa, also known as NFL Caleb 22, and this is Ben the NFL, and we are in the divisional round of the playoffs. And as always, I'm here with my co-host Derek Weatherly, also known as DWeezy. What's going on, man?
Not much. Looking to drop a little knowledge on people to help them win some bets. You know, was struggling with some technical difficulties last week. Going to see if we can't little win the battle on that front and try and get these people some more money.
Absolutely. That's what we try to do on this show. Only a few more opportunities left in the season to make you guys money, but that is what we're going to try to do. And if you listen to me last week, you made a ton of money because I went perfect, first perfect week of the season. Um, so I get hot in the playoffs. I got hot in the playoffs last year. I picked the perfect Super Bowl on all my picks. So if I mean this is when I start winning a lot for you guys. So just keep on watching all throughout these playoffs, and I'll keep picking you guys winners. But before I get to that, we're gonna recap the week, what happened in the wild card round, and I'm gonna start with the biggest upset of the week, and that came in the New York Giants +3. The money line was plus 140 at Minnesota Vikings. Final score was 31-24. And frauds that are the Minnesota Vikings were exposed this past weekend by them New York Giants. Most people did not believe in the Vikings pretty much throughout the season. Probably like the worst 13-win team ever. They were just really lucky all season, won a lot of close games. Uh, Giants may not have the same type of weapons that the Vikings did, but they definitely got coached by the Giants head coach. Daniel Jones stepped up big time in his first playoff game, went 24-35, 301 yards, two touchdowns. He also had 17 carries for 78 yards. He was running, passing, doing all kinds of things, trying to win the game. He targeted Hodgins a lot, which paid off. He got 8 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown. And Kirk Cousins just comes up small again in these standalone games. He ended the game by throwing, a check down on 4th and 8. You know, and then that was it for the Vikings. Giants look to get another upset, but going to Philly next week. But they go in that game looking pretty good. So, yeah, what did you think about this game?
I put it in chat last week that I thought, the Giants were a very live play coming into this game, even as the underdog, whether it be the money line or on the spread, because it sounds a little corny, but there's a reason why trend like Kirk Cousins being live play. And yes, Kirk Cousins didn't lose this game for the Vikings to necessarily win it for them. And I think in a lot of ways that gave the Giants a long win. Daniel Jones went out there and played one of the better games that we've seen him play. Those that saw the game, at times it appeared that Daniel Jones to put up decent numbers in the run game when they did call on him ball in a designed run or two, adding that little bit of a wrinkle because he's not but he is agile and mobile enough to pick up 4 or 5 yards in a design. I don't think this is going to carry over well into the coming week, but a team like the Vikings, who had one of the worst point differentials seen by a team with and a number of reasons why people called this team fake, and an early exit to the in the playoffs to a wild card team like the Giant proved to that narrative.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all kind of thought that they once again playoff time the Vikings would show them true selves, and it happened. But next we will get to the largest cover against the spread, and that came in the best game of the week, which was the Dallas Cowboys -2.5 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Final score was 31-14. And even I was scared to take this game because that was not one of my picks last week. Um, I was just nervous about never beating Brady, not winning a road playoff game in 30 years, not playing very well coming into this game. But we bounced back from that really awful performance we had in Washington to a dominant performance on both offense and defense in this game. Dak had probably his best game of his career, going 25, 33, 105 yards and 7 rushes for 24 yards and a touchdown. And that's just the best version of Dak when he can just, be a football player, playing quarterback, running, passing ball. And he was just on, man. He was on fire, just connecting everything. Like he was extremely accurate. He wasn't worried about all the talk about his interceptions because he didn't throw any. He was just on target all game, except for like the first couple of drives that kind of looked like the Washington game. But once he got through that, he got over it and he started hitting them, and he looked really really awesome. The defense was able to get a lot of pressure on Brady, forced him to a lot of inaccurate throws. He had an interception in the red zone. He's never done that with the Bucks. He had his first one in this game. And then he just chose not to run the ball. Bad decision for them because Cowboys have shown that they have trouble stopping the run. And even when teams have gotten down against the Cowboys and continue to run, they've had success. And the score probably would have been worse if Maher could just make a goddamn extra point, but he missed four of them. So it wasn't could even be a larger spread cover against the spread. But even with them missing all those field goals, it still was the largest. Cowboys looking good going to that divisional round against a very tough 49ers team. But I feel confident after this win, definitely. But what are your thoughts on Cowboys Bucks?
Um, yes, you're always in a bit of a sweat going into a playoff game against Tom Brady. Now, in this instance, we saw that the Bucks just didn't have it, whether it be injuries on the offensive line, a lack game, even I wonder a bit of that lack of running game is due more to offensive play calling. Um, I do think Leonard Fournette at times has decent NFL running back.
Yeah, I mean, he tore
And I
us up
do
last
think there
game,
are
so I don't
times
know why
that
they're
they
just going to do that.
underutilize. Yeah. Um, but we saw that once if you're able to get a lead on the Bucks, it is difficult for the Bucks to cover that ground and come back. And even though Tom Brady was literally on just about every down, it wasn't possible. And the missed extra points. The only people out there really upset about that are people that maybe played the over on the total, which if he had made those four, if I'm not mistaken, before, but yeah, you know, you can call it luck, but it's pretty unusual that you're beating a team so bad that you can literally leave points on the field and be like, "Oh, we're not even worried."
Well, I'm still definitely worried about that going in for next game. Hopefully, he gets his stuff together, but we'll see. What happens with Brett Maher in the next game. But we got the bad beat of the week, which came in the Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars, +2.5, and being the third greatest comeback in playoff history, I mean, it couldn't be a worse bad beat. It started so badly for Trevor Lawrence. Um, he had his first pass was intercepted. He then proceeds to throw three more interceptions in the first half. And thing was, even though the Chargers were getting all these turnovers, they didn't always capitalize on them. And they kicked a field goal after one, they punted after another. Um, so it could have been a lot worse for the Jaguars, but with the Chargers not capitalizing on those turnovers, it kind of kept them in the game. And another key to their comeback was the Jaguars getting that score right before halftime, kept it a three-score game, and as well as gave them the momentum going into the second half. Lawrence, after that, just goes off in the second half, throwing four touchdown passes, leading the game-winning drive to the game-winning field goal. And you would think up 27 points, your bet is pretty safe. But that was not the case in this game. Um, if you had the Chargers minus 2.5, you knew this game was dead. When the Jags went for two to make the score 30-28. But if you have the Chargers on the money line, you still had a good chance because they got the ball back with about 5:25 left in the game. But right away, they go three and out and proceed to let the Jags go down 61 yards, converting on a big time fourth down. And that if they stopped them, that would have ended the game. But it all led to the bad beat of the week. But what do you think about Chargers Jags?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
Here, let me. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can
So,
hear you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. We both split on this game, and we thought the spread was definitely not the way to go, because of how close this game could be, and um, you know, it was definitely one game that compared to the others that we saw on the slate was a lot closer as far as spread. It was definitely a game where you needed to attack it on the money line because yes, the Jaguars could potentially win outright, and so, but the odds you're looking at with that plus number that they had versus what you're seeing with the spread, I was riding with the Chargers, but we both thought this game could easily be a 1 or 2 point victory on either side, and that's literally what we saw. Now, yes, we got a great ride in the process because you get to see one hell of a comeback, and as Caleb said, for a number of reasons, there was points left on the Chargers just didn't capitalize on their opportunities, even though they were given turnover after turnover. And if you were a Jaguars backer in this game, happy with the outcome. And there was actually some live opportunity even when the comeback started. If you didn't jump on the Jaguar 27, they scored. They down by 10. You're still looking at a good plus number. And as you see, couple scores, bang, 1 point victory.
All right. We'll get to my personal picks of the week. Like I mentioned before, I had a perfect week, and I went 5-0. Overall, it put me at 47-44-3, getting back into the positive area. And my best pick was Miami Dolphins plus 13.5 at the Buffalo Bills. Final score was 31-34. And, once again, I've been saying it all season, double digit spreads, big time spreads. in these divisional games going to favor uh, more often going to favor the underdog. And it hit once again. I thought I was in trouble when the Bills went up 17-0, but just had to remember 13 and a half points. That is a lot of points to cover. The Dolphins started to chip away at the lead. They got 3 straight field goals. Josh Allen started making some terrible throws, getting picked off twice. This led to the Dolphins only down 3 going into halftime. They even took the lead 24-20 early in the third quarter. But a bad decision on a deep throw on 30-19 at their own 8-yard line cost them the lead. And from there, the Dolphins just weren't able to catch up. And I thought they would cover, considering the last 2 matchups were very close. And even with the third string quarterback, I still thought they were going to be able to do the same, because just the Bills just kind of struggle with the Dolphins this season. So this all led for a big win for me and my best pick of the week. Had no worse pick because obviously I didn't lose anything, but I can say that I did lose my parlay only because the Ravens did not. The Bengals game. The Bengals did not cover the spread. They covered the spread on my picks I made on Tuesday, but the spread switched to 9 points, and they did not cover that 9-point spread. So lost my parlay on that one, but still went perfect. If you took the 6.5 early, and that's the benefit of betting early. Sometimes you'll get a spread that benefits you, and it definitely benefited me on my picks this on last week. So that's the difference. But how did you do, DWeezy?
Um, I did fairly all right. As I mentioned, I was on the wrong side with the Chargers. I did think, the Giants had the money line, and that I hate to say that easily came in, but if you were right, I don't think you were really sweating that game at all. Um, I also had that a same game parlay with the 49ers. CMC to score, anytime touchdown, parlayed with the money line, brought it down to -115. That basically cashed the second CMC got his touchdown, because that game was never really in jeopardy at all. So overall, it was closer to 50-50, but still a profitable side of things. And that's what we're here to do, is just make that money.
All right. Before we get to our picks of the week, I just we like to help you guys out, win some money. So if you guys can help us out by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel if you have not already, and join our Patreon if you really want to help us out, and just join whatever tier that suits you. I get stuff on there, so if you can do that, if you can help us out that way, that'd be much appreciated. Like I said, we're definitely trying to help you guys win some money, so we all help each other. Now we will get to the divisional round picks this week. There's only four games this week. It's going to be hard with less options, but I'm going to try our best. But I'm going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 8.5 at the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take the points. If the Jaguars didn't get off to such a bad start right off the bat, I really think the Jags could have won more convincingly than they did. I thought they were the better team, and I think they just need to avoid the turnovers going into this game against the Chiefs. I think this is a better team than the Chiefs saw when the Jaguars were only a 3-win team. And I think they have the ability to score quickly and frequently, as we saw in the Chargers game. I mean, he scored all those points in the second half. So definitely think they can score pretty quick there. Mahomes and the Chiefs will be able, obviously, to get there as well. But I believe Lawrence will be able to keep pace. Late down the stretch of the season, Jags have been excellent against the spread, going 5-1 in the last 6 games, as well as covering last week. They may not win. They may not win, which I don't think they will. I think the Chiefs will win this game, but I think I definitely think the Jags can cover an 8.5 point spread. The Chiefs, haven't been good against the spread at all. 7-10 this season, and 2-4 in the last 6 games, and they are just 2-11 against the spread against AFC opponents. So I like the Jags getting the points in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you in this game where the book I'm looking at has, the Jags getting 9 points. And even at 9, 8.5, something we talked on throughout the season was the Chiefs' lack of success in games where they were double digit point favorites and were right on the cusp of that number. And I think, like you said, if the Jags avoid turnovers, this game will be a lot closer than people think. I definitely think a potential backdoor cover is a possibility for this game. You got the Chiefs possibly up by 14, somewhere in that range. A late touchdown can easily put you within that 8.5 range. And, you know, I, I don't think the Chiefs are the offensive juggernaut of past that we've seen. And so I think this number is slightly inflated. I might even personally wait to see if it goes up at all, because if that number goes to 10, I'm definitely going to take it at 10.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be taking advantage with that 10 point spread there. But next we got the New York Giants plus 7.5 at Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to take the Giants with the points. Coming off the big upset against the Vikings, the Giants looking pretty good. Have some momentum going into this divisional matchup. And like I said, all season long, this is basically the theme of the show: big point spreads in divisional games. It's the only divisional game of the week. Has a big point spread. It's gonna favor the underdog. This is the only matchup with two teams same division. Um, in that situation, Daniel Jones had his best performance last week. If we can bring that into Philly, give the Giants a great chance to win outright. He's run the ball really well. He ran for 78 yards this past week, along with Saquon Barkley getting into the end zone. I definitely think that they can take advantage of Philly's rush defense. The Eagles coming off a bye. Jalen Hurts still dealing with the shoulder injury. Uh, his first game back in Week 18 did not look good. He couldn't run the ball. Um, I think that probably because he was trying to protect his shoulder from getting hurt. He was inaccurate. He threw no touchdowns, threw an interception. It just wasn't good. I think the Eagles come in this game a little rusty, and I think the Giants can jump on them early. And if they can take the lead on them, I think they can hang with the Eagles enough to cover the 7.5 point spread. If not, outright win. And the Giants been great against the spread. Last 5 games, 5-0, 8-1 in the last 9 road games against the spread. And the Eagles been bad against the spread. Last 5 games, just 1-4 in that span. So I like the Giants with the points.
Yes, in this game, I do think that the Giants are very live, taking the points on the spread. Me personally, I think the Eagles will win this game outright. I don't like them enough, though, to play them at that -7.5. This is definitely a situation where if you feel the Eagles can win, if that number comes down, it's that hook on the 7. That's what's killing me with this number. If this was the Eagles 6.5 or lower, I'd feel a bit more confident trying to take them on the spread. Um, but I do think they'll win this game outright. As you said, the New York Giants have definitely been playing strong. They've also been a team that's been very strong against the spread. Um, you know, if we see this number go up, I would most definitely get behind the Giants because, you heard Caleb mention it. We've talked about it before. Divisional games by nature end up being close more times than not. And if you're going to give us a big spread, go ahead and take the underdog. It's that simple. Now, a little same game parlay I put together for this game because, as I said, I like the Eagles on the money line, but at minus 335, I'm not touching that. Well, you can put together a same game parlay. You could substitute in one or two different players on the Eagles for this, but AJ Brown to score touchdowns and the Eagles to win outright and brings you to a nice plus number of plus 122. And in this game, if the Eagles win, it's likely that AJ Brown will score a touchdown, a Miles Sanders. Players that are critical to the offense are going to put up a touchdown. So if you have a lean towards one player over the other, I definitely won't argue with that. But, you know, a a bit of a variety to help find a better number on some of these games where you may not like the spread and you may not like where the money line is priced at.
All right. Just want to say what's up to OTR Mike. What's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in, man. All right. The next game we got is the Cincinnati Bengals +5 at the Buffalo Bills. I had the Bengals in the last matchup when this game was canceled, and I'm going to take them again for mostly the same reasons that I did last time. Because outside of Josh Allen, the Bills cannot really run the ball with the running backs. 48 yards for Singletary, 39 yards for Cook. Against the Dolphins, the Bengals as the seventh best rushing defense in the league. So I believe they're going to have trouble running the ball once again. It's forced Allen to make things happen for the offense, which hasn't always worked out for them. It kept the Dolphins back in the game when he threw those two terrible picks. Because there really is no reason they should have been back and forth with the Dolphins, but his mistakes kind of let that happen. And then Joe Burrow. He didn't have a great game last week, but I think his sample size of what he's done this season, this shows how he's been really good. And I just think they just got too much talent for this Bills defense to handle. The Bengals been great pretty much all season long. Last 15 games against the spread, going 12-3. They're coming in with a 9-game win streak. Bills pretty mediocre against the spread, 8-1 this season. So I like the Bengals plus the 5 points.
Yes, this is another game where, like I was saying in the last matchup, I do not like the spread in this game, especially where I'm looking at minus or at half. Um, if this was closer to a touchdown or, that minus 7.5 we see in the New York Philly game, I would definitely feel comfortable about backing the Bengals. As you said, they're coming in on a winning streak. They're coming in playing well. Against the spread, they've been a monster all season long. I just feel that the Bills are going to win this game outright. I don't have a side in this game, but I did throw together another same game parlay like the one I just mentioned, where I'm taking the money line with the anytime touchdown with Stephon Diggs. And, these are two individual plays that by themselves staring at a minus number all day long. You pair them together, you're looking at plus 151. And there's a strong likelihood that if the Buffalo Bills win this game, that you're going to see Stephon Diggs in the end zone. And I definitely like those odds. And really, that's what it's about. You're trying to figure out how things end. I definitely would not take the Buffalo Bills minus the 5.5. I think this game will be closer to a touchdown. Um, and so yeah, at that 5.5, I definitely don't like either side in this game from that aspect. Um, but the Bengals could be a very live upset if you like the money line in this game. Where I'm looking, you're seeing plus 210, so you're getting double your money if the Bengals win this game outright. And there's definitely some value behind a hot team getting them odds.
All right, we finally got to our last game of the week, the game that makes me most nervous of the week. But I, I still
And
feel
running.
confident. I still feel confident and my Dallas Cowboys +4 at the San Francisco 49ers. And when the Cowboys play like they did on Monday night, I think they are capable of beating anybody in the league. They had one of their best performances of the season, as Dak had the best game probably of his career. They definitely play up to the competition. They've shown throughout the season that they can stack wins together, especially after a loss. Like they did against Washington, coming back, and I think they can build on that win. I think at some points, uh, Brock Purdy, he's going to have his rookie mistakes, and he has not faced a defense like ours. The pass rush, he hasn't seen a pass rush like ours. He hasn't seen Michael Parsons, and they can definitely put pressure on the quarterback. Uh, and then turn the ball over. They led the league in turnovers last 2 seasons. They can force this rookie into some bad balls, leading to interceptions. CD Lamb has been playing awesome this season, and I think he can take advantage of some of their weaknesses in their secondary. And the Seahawks had the lead at halftime. And if Geno Smith hadn't started making mistakes in the second half and turning over the ball, I think they could have been definitely could have been more competitive, and maybe they would have won. But we played. That's something everybody wanted to talk about. Dak's interceptions. He did not have one. He played a very clean game. Cowboys overall played a clean game. Didn't turn the ball over. And against the Bucks, against Bucks, we kept penalties low, and just played a clean game overall. If we could do that against the 49ers, then I definitely think we can cover a 4-point spread and get that outright win. Um, but that's why I have faith in my Cowboys, and I think we're gonna win this game. So, what do you got for this game?
Yes, I think the 49ers need to be on high or upset because coming into this game, the boys are live to win, taking them on the money line. As mentioned, we haven't really seen Brock Purdy have that rookie moment, rookie game type scenario. And it's unfortunate, but the playoffs are the type of place where those types of moments tend to come about if you're not ready for what's going on. And I think this Dallas defense is going to offer a lot of challenges for Purdy. And in this game, if the Cowboys can get out to an early lead, I think that's going to put even more pressure on the rookie to perform and also help dictate the play calling a little bit. it, it's hard to say you can try and make this team one dimensional because Shanahan has shown in the past that I, not so much a dedication to the run game, but he understands how to utilize the run game even in more typical passing scenarios. And so you might not be able to make this team one dimensional, but when you put this team in a situation where they're going to have to lean more on the passing game in a vertical sense, that's going to put more pressure on this quarterback. And you put Purdy back there, give the defensive line Micah Parsons more time to get to him. And that's where you see bad throws. That's where you see sacks occur where maybe, it wasn't so much the protection breaking down as it was the quarterback getting happy feet and trying to escape the pocket and not really having that awareness to know where to go. And so I definitely think that there's a very strong chance that we see the worst game that we've seen out of Brock Purdy this week against the 49ers. And, you know, coming in as underdog, yeah, I'm going to smash the Cowboys plus 165 on the money line.
All right. Well, I guess we're both on the same page. That makes me very happy, and hopefully that works out for my Cowboys this weekend. But that is all of our picks for the week, unless you got any more for the people.
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned, less games, less goals. You can come across sharper numbers. I put together a couple teasers going into this week, mainly because of that we're seeing. A 3-leg teaser plus 14, the New York Giants plus 13.5, and the Cincinnati Bengals plus 11. Now, in all three of these matchups, we see where we've talked about you got a divisional game, double digit spread, you take the dog. You don't even think about it. The Kansas City Chiefs, all season long, we've talked about their struggles against double digit spreads. Plus 14, that's not even sweat. Even if the Jaguars are getting blown out, you can get a backdoor touchdown to cover that in just about any game. And then you come to the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, where, you know, you feel there's a good chance that the Bills need to be on upset alert coming into this game. And you're talking about being able to get plus 11 with a team like that. It's hard to say that, that wouldn't be, that, that's no sweat, but it's definitely hard to be worried until the clock starts getting real late in the fourth quarter. But at plus 160, getting that, a plus number for one unit, I think there's a lot more value in that than trying to chase down some of these potential money lines and risk finding yourself on the wrong side when you're laying, a potential minus 470, a minus 335. Even in the Bills game, you're talking about laying minus 250.
Yeah, definitely. If you're confident in the underdogs like I am, obviously I took all underdogs this week. Teaser definitely would be in your favor, and you're just going to get even more points on those picks. So, um, if you don't like to do that, like do teasers, I think that you should go for that, especially if you like all the underdogs like I do. Um, but yeah, that is all of our bets for the week. Hopefully we win. Hopefully you guys win. That's what we're trying to do. But for now, you can tell the people where they can find you, DWeezy.
Yes, y'all can reach me at Backyard Action Media here on YouTube. I'm also currently dropping a lot of content on TikTok at the same name, Backyard Action Media.
All right. You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and Twitter. You can find my articles that go along with this show on our website. That is Let's Get Ready Network.com. You can also find me on this channel doing Good Friends, Better Rivals with my co host, Ferris Muthana. We talk Cowboys and Giants. So we'll give you more analysis on both the Giants Vikings game and the Cowboys Bucks game, as well as our preview of this week's games with Cowboys Niners and the Giants and Eagles. And that will be coming out this Friday because we did not have a show on Monday due to the fact that the Cowboys played on Monday. But then that will be out for you guys to go check out that. But we will be back next Monday after both, and we'll be talking about both the Cowboys, Niners, and the Giants Eagles game and the reaction to those games. But and then but we will be going with you all the way to the Super Bowl for this show. So stick with us for a few more weeks, and we'll continue to make y'all money. But for now, like I always say, um, let's get ready to make that money.